The air was heavy. London's sky carried that familiar gray weight, the kind that presses down on the city before something monumental happens, and inside the palace walls, whispers echoed, whispers that would soon become a thunderclap. Cameras would not catch this first moment. Not yet. This was a story born behind closed doors, stitched together by secrecy, alliances, and one shocking partnership that no one saw coming. It begins not with Catherine, not even with the monarchy itself, but with Amal Clooney, a woman whose name alone carries the force of law, justice, and glamour, a woman who could step into any global arena and hold her ground. And when her path crossed Catherine's, not by accident, but by design, the stage was set for a project so daring, so unexpected, that even the palace's most seasoned insiders were caught off guard. But every story of power also carries its shadows, and in this story, the shadow took the form of someone left behind, someone once celebrated. But now, watching from the outside, Meghan, the question is not just what Catherine and Amal chose to build together. The question is why Meghan wasn't invited to the table, and what that says about the palace, the people, and the future of its legacy. This is where it had been a late evening gathering, not an official dinner, not a glittering gala, but a quiet meeting in a Kensington sitting room. Candles flickered against the walls, their shadows stretching across velvet curtains. Amal Clooney sat opposite. "Catherine, you know this can't stay quiet for long," Amal said softly. Catherine didn't flinch. "It doesn't need to. The world deserves to see this." It wasn't gossip. It wasn't a rivalry. It was a plan. Point one that would involve women's rights, children's futures, and the way of the crown itself. And yet, unspoken between them, was the knowledge that Meghan Markle's name had never even been raised. Not once. The silence around it was louder than any rejection. The palace machine thrives on perception. Every smile, every gown, every public step choreographed to the second. But behind that gleaming surface, storms brew. And the storm now was this: Catherine and Amal's project, an initiative focused on global justice and women's empowerment, would be unveiled under royal patronage. And it would be Catherine's name at the forefront. Palace aides warn of fallout. Her Highness, the comparisons to Meghan will be inevitable. One aide whispered. Catherine's gaze hardened. This isn't about comparison. It's about impact. Still, the whispers grew. The press had long fueled narratives of rivalry. Meghan versus Kate, Hollywood versus monarchy, emotion versus tradition, and now Amal had chosen her side. The world didn't yet know it. But inside Meghan's Montecito mansion, the silence was thick, hairy-paced. Meghan scrolled through headlines, sensing what was coming even before the first story dropped. Amal. Meghan murmured, a soft, pained laugh. She'd once believed in the power of female solidarity. She'd once believed Amal would stand beside her. But belief and reality rarely walked the same. Roth day of the unveiling arrived. Reporters gathered like vultures outside the palace gates. Flashbulbs popped in the damp London drizzle. Inside, Catherine and Amal stepped forward together. The cameras drank it in, the Duchess and the human rights barrister side by side. Radiant and immovable, the project, a joint foundation to provide legal access and education for women trapped in systems of oppression worldwide, backed by royal patronage, funded by global partners, branded with Catherine's quiet strength and Amal's legal firepower. It was history in motion. Catherine spoke first. "Every child deserves a future. Every woman deserves a voice. Together, we can shape a world where justice is not a privilege, but a right." Applause filled the hall. Not polite applause, thundering applause. Then Amal stepped forward. "This is not just about charity. It's about power. And today, power stands for justice." Outside, headlines blazed. Kate and Amal, a new era of royal power. Meghan absent from groundbreaking alliance. And somewhere across the ocean, Meghan watched. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. "They made their choice," she whispered. Harry said nothing. In the weeks that followed, the project soared. Global leaders lined up to pledge support. Schools and courts across continents welcomed the initiative. And Catherine, once cast as the quiet figure behind palace walls, now stood as a force of her own. The palace spin machine framed it as unity, progress, a beacon of hope. But behind the scenes, everyone knew the truth. This was more than a partnership. It was a declaration. Catherine had stepped into a spotlight she hadn't sought, but now fully owned. Amal had chosen her partner. Catherine had stepped into a spotlight she hadn't sought, but now fully owned. Amal had chosen her partner, and Meghan had been written out of the script. But history is never finished. Point one chapter closes, another begins. For now, Catherine and Amal's alliance shines as a symbol of change. But in the shadows, questions linger. Why wasn't Meghan included? Was it palace politics, personal wounds, or something deeper? Something the world may never fully see. What is clear is this: the choices of today ripple into tomorrow. And this bombshell partnership has redrawn the lines of power, not just within the palace, but across the globe. Because in the end, This wasn't only about royalty. It was about justice, about women stepping forward, and about the silence of one woman left standing on the outside, watching history move without her. The applause fades, the cameras dim, but the questions remain, and somewhere, in a Montecito garden lit by California's sun, Meghan wonders if the